Hey guys, it's Julian. I'm back with another talking video, and today I'm going to be talking to you about the one tip that I think every house producer needs to know. Now, if you're having a hard time, particularly with kind of getting the groove right and with getting your drums and everything really like sitting in that nice bouncy house feel, I think this is really going to help you. And the one tip that I think every house producer needs to know is that essentially your drum sounds and like the length of them, how punchy they are, how they fit into the mix, all of that is going to be determined by the groove that you're going for. So what I mean by this is, like, for example, your kick, like some tracks you might have like a 909 kick, and then some tracks you might have like a more distorted kick, and then some tracks, you might have a very short like kick, and a lot of times when you don't really know what you're doing and you hear tracks like that and you're hearing it for the first time, you might be wondering, oh, like, what exactly is it that made them choose that kick? Why is this track using a 909 kick, and this track's using like a little clicky kick, and this track is using like a distorted 909 kick? Well, that's it. It's the groove. And it's the same thing with hi-hats, claps, everything like that. You can really hear this if you pay attention to a lot of like the current minimal house sound, especially compared to like what's very popular in tech house right now, where like the minimal house tracks a lot of times just use like a little tiny like hi-hat. It's just like, but then a lot of those bigger, kind of more main room tech house tracks are a lot more of like a long, like 909 hi-hat, like a big, like, so you get that with the really big, full sounding hi-hat. And again, like, when you hear that, you don't really know exactly what it's doing. You might wonder, well, what was it that made them choose those? Well, again, it's all in the groove. It's all going to come down to that. Even, like, the reverb that you put on your percussion, like, let's say you put a little reverb on your clap, so the clap goes from to kind of like that, Same thing. The thing that's going to determine that is, well, so like, let's say you're in the point of making that track, and you're trying to decide whether to put the reverb on the clap or not. You have your kick and your bass, you have a hi-hat laid out, you have some percussion, you're listening to the clap, and what you do is you just kind of listen and say, what does this need, like, again, like if you're adding a hi-hat, you say, well, what does this need? Does it need a big, long or does it need just like a quick And that's really all it's going to come down to. It's really just about what's going to serve the groove the best. And I think that once you realize this, that's really when your tracks come to life, because then you start to really get tuned into that process of just working on a track where you're not just looking for like the best kick sample, the best clap, which of course you are trying to do. You need high quality samples, but at the end of the day, the best kick sample is a very subjective thing. The best kick sample is really just the best kick sample for whichever moment that you need it for right then, right? So ultimately, that's really what you want to keep in mind. And this is something I didn't quite realize, for a while. So I can understand how it can be tough, like, again, when you first start hearing house music, you just wonder, like, why are they choosing these huge sounds? Like, why is this clap better than this clap? And again, it all comes back to that. It's like specifically like the length of the samples, how much they hit, how punchy they are, how much attack they have, all that kind of stuff is going to be determined by how you need them to fit into the groove. So that's again why like some tracks you might hear have like a really, really hard kick, and then some tracks might have a softer kick, but it's really hard in like just the low end, And again, it's all just going back to this, just what the groove needs and what's going to suit the sounds that are all laid out there and how they're grooving off of each other. So yeah, that is pretty much going to be it for this one, guys. Like I said, I just want to give you this tip. I think it's something that's really important. It's something I've really been realizing recently. And since really getting into this, I've noticed my grooves and when I make house tracks really coming to life a lot more. This is what's really going to allow you to make a groove where all the sounds can kind of speak to each other and work off of each other and not just be a bunch of 16th notes and 8th notes, but something that's actually got some synergy and some life to it. So, as always, make sure to like this video as well as subscribe, and let me know what you think of this video in the comments. Now, if you like this video, I don't make a whole lot just off of YouTube, but you can help support me by grabbing one of my sample packs at my Bandcamp right at the top of the description. They're all just like $5 or $10 or $15. Not too expensive, but you get some really high quality samples, and it helps keep me going so I can keep bringing you guys new videos like this. I've also got my email for custom tutorials and ghost productions. I've got a few slots at the moment. So if you want me to make you a private custom tutorial video and template, or you want me to make you a ghost produced track or EP or anything like that, definitely hit me up with the email as well. And yeah, thank you so much, everybody, and I will see you tomorrow with another video.